She was born into fame, raised by punk rock royalty, and flaunts a lifestyle most of us can't even dream of. But Alabama Barker isn't just another celebrity kid riding her dad's coattails. She's a Gen Z firestorm of controversy, caught somewhere between fame, filters, and full-blown internet chaos. From dropping rap bars that have the internet asking who exactly is she trying to be, to posting videos that leave people questioning where are her parents. Alabama's social media presence walks a line that's equal parts influencer fantasy and cultural appropriation debate. She raps like a seasoned rap artist, dresses like she's fresh off an Atlanta set, and lives like she's already 30, with iced-out chains, luxury cars, and a level of online confidence that borders on defiance.
Your is ugly right now, in your face, in your present day, bitch, and you worrying about me? You can't be worrying about me, because I'm a 10 plus 5. Your is a 5 minus 5 minus 5.
But beneath the diamonds and designer bags is a teen who's been repeatedly called out for co-opting black culture, sharing hyper-sexualized content way beyond her years, and flaunting a too-rich-to-care attitude that's ruffling more feathers by the day. So who is Alabama Barker really? A future pop star in the making? A misguided teen with too much freedom? Or just another product of Hollywood privilege spiraling under the spotlight? Today we're diving headfirst into the messy, unfiltered world of Alabama Barker. Her controversies, her music, her image, and the uncomfortable questions that come with watching a 2000s baby grow up way too fast in front of millions.
I have like this thing where I photograph so ugly and people are like, oh my god, you're so fat and you're so ugly, and it's like, I see what you guys are seeing, but like just like meet me in person. I feel like I really don't look like that. But I'm on weight loss medication because I'm tired of being fat and photographing like a damn ogre. I could break it down this time. So I like to use this angled Patrick tar brush. Happy just now.
Let's start with the beginning, shall we? Before the viral TikToks, the over-the-top fits, and the eyebrow-raising rap verses, Alabama Barker was just a baby cradled in the chaos of early 2000s reality TV. Born on December 24, 2005 to Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, the man who married Kourtney Kardashian and model Shanna Moakler, Alabama was practically raised under the studio lights and paparazzi flashes.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
It wouldn't be wrong if we say that being famous and having millions of followers turned into some sort of a tradition in her family. Her brother, Landon Barker, is also pretty popular on social media. He dated Charli D'Amelio for a while. Besides her older brother, she also has a half-sister who we believe is called Atina. However, none of her siblings made a name for themselves quite like Alabama did. Maybe it's because they didn't properly know how to capitalize on unhinged content and controversies. Regardless, Alabama made her first TV appearance before she could even talk, on MTV's Meet the Barkers, a chaotic look into the lives of her celebrity parents.
Meet Travis. He's the ultimate musician. He's a wonderful father.
Did you have good baby dreams, huh?
And a hopeless romantic.
Beautiful.
Meet Shayna. She's an incredible woman and an awesome mom. She was Miss USA, and she's an amazingly talented actress.
My mother was deaf.
We're getting married.
And we're starting our family.
We may not look like your average couple.
Because our love is anything but average.
Travis, fresh off his fame from Blink-182, and Shanna, former Miss USA, seemed like a power couple on the surface. But behind the scenes, it was a storm of constant fighting, accusations of infidelity, and emotional blowouts. Their relationship officially collapsed in 2006, and the fallout became tabloid fuel for years.
My family's broken because of this family, and now my kids and I are alienated from each other because of another sister in the family, so yay for me.
While the divorce papers were drying, another life-altering event hit when Travis Barker survived a deadly plane crash in 2008, one that claimed 4 lives and left him with severe burns covering over 65% of his body. The trauma from that crash kept him off airplanes for over a decade. For Alabama, who was just a toddler at the time, it was another chapter in a story already shaped by instability, fame, and trauma. Travis would later speak about the PTSD and addiction issues that followed, adding more weight to the legacy his children would inherit.
Drugs started wearing off, and I started figuring out that I also lost 3 of my best friends and the 2 pilots that were in the plane. I was just like, it's even darker. It's not about me. It's just about everything. I just lost trust in the world. I was like, how did this happen? I almost had my foot amputated. Long story short, I got sober in a burn center. I never went to rehab. I was beginning therapy, and I was in the mindset that I wanted to get sober.
They would probably just give you whatever pills you wanted.
I think I had 30-something surgeries within a 5 to 6 month period.
What's a burn surgery?
A burn surgery is where they just cheese grade your skin off, and then they place it. It's amazing what they do. 70% of my body was burnt.
Well, show me. Not show me, but where?
Yeah, you can kind of tell. I've tattooed over everything. My legs, you can really tell. But my legs, all the way up to the top of my back, was all severely burnt. And what they do is they take good skin from the front of your body and from the top of my back, and they use it to add to the skin where you were burnt.
So yeah, it was pretty bad. But then came the Kourtney Kardashian era. In 2021, Travis married Kourtney Kardashian, turning Alabama into a reluctant extra in the Kardashian cinematic universe.
Your new brothers and sisters. Aren't they cute?
They're not our brothers and sisters.
They're not?
They're my nieces and nephews. You're their grandmother.
Oh my God! How many grandchildren do I have now?
4,000. So, do you guys think you have the coolest aunts or what? Who's your favorite aunt?
So from the jump, she wasn't just growing up, she was growing up famous. But while most kids her age were figuring out how to do long division, Alabama was figuring out camera angles and red carpet poses.
Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker also brought his kids, 13-year-old Landon and 11-year-old Alabama, who stole the show in this pink gown.
However, as the years rolled on and her parents' rocky relationship grabbed more headlines than her childhood milestones, Alabama's life stayed front and center. Divorce drama, plane crashes, new marriages, every personal moment played out under the microscope of Hollywood gossip blogs. And through it all, Alabama began carving out her own identity, not just as Travis Barker's daughter, but as a brand of her own. By the time she hit her early teens, she was already making waves online. Designer clothes, expensive vacations, brand deals. Her Instagram looked more like a grown influencer's than a young teenager's. Currently, Alabama has 5.5 million followers on TikTok and 2.3 million followers on Instagram. Now this is a lot of followers. And with this much popularity comes an equal amount of hate. To us, growing up famous might sound like a dream. Private jets, designer clothes, and millions of followers before you can legally drive. But in reality, childhood fame often comes with a twisted price. Because when you're raised in the spotlight, you're rarely allowed to just be a kid. Your identity is curated, controlled, and constantly commented on. And eventually that pressure boils over. We've seen it happen before. Just look at JoJo Siwa. For years, she was Nickelodeon's glittery, bow-wearing poster girl. But as she got older, JoJo pulled a hard left turn, shedding the childlike image she'd been boxed into for something bolder, queerer, and more adult. It wasn't just rebranding, it was rebellion, a way to scream, "I'm not who you think I am anymore." A similar thing seems to be happening with Alabama Barker. From the outside, Alabama grew up in luxury. But behind the filters and flexes is a young girl raised by the chaos of celebrity life, expected to maintain a certain image while navigating fame, divorce, trauma, and blended families. As she got older, it became clear she wasn't content being just the cute daughter of a punk drummer. She wanted to build her own persona, and she chose music to do it. Alabama's first steps into music were surprising. Soft, polished, and heavily influenced by early 2010s pop and R&B. Think Taylor Swift meets Ariana Grande, With lyrics about heartbreak and teenage emotions wrapped in clean production, she seemed to be aiming for the typical pop princess lane. But that didn't last long. So yeah, a lot has changed since then. And we're not saying that it is necessarily bad, it's just that she doesn't sound like herself. As Alabama's online persona grew louder, flashier, and more controversial, so did her music. The soft melodies were replaced with trap beats. The lyrics became edgier, the tone more aggressive. She started rapping with a cadence, slang, and bravado that many felt didn't match her background, and people noticed. As you guys might have been able to tell, Alabama Barker isn't just known for being famous. She's also known for trying very hard to sound, look, and act like someone she isn't, and people are starting to call it out.
Why does this white woman have baby hairs? Can we make white women white again? Damn!
Scroll through her Instagram or TikTok and you'll find a girl dressed in designer streetwear, acrylic nails, baby hairs slicked down, heavy lip gloss, and speaking in a tone and dialect that mirrors Black American culture. We mean her transformation has been very obvious.
I ain't gotta get naked for no tennis bracelet, but I need 20 bands for a fucking anklet.
Not only this, but she also raps with a cadence that mimics artists from a background far removed from hers, using slang that doesn't belong to her, and performs with a cadence that seems manufactured, not lived. At a glance, it might look like she's just following trends like any other Gen Z teenager on the internet. But there's a line between influence and imitation, and Alabama has been accused repeatedly of crossing it. Critics say she's playing dress-up with a culture she doesn't belong to, cherry-picking aesthetics, language, and sound while skipping the lived experiences, the systemic struggle, and the context behind them. And when people try to hold her accountable, she doubles down, often brushing off the criticism with vague captions or a self-righteous tone that implies she knows better than the people she's borrowing from.
But I ain't about to eat y'all up because I'm tired of people saying I don't know anything about rap music. I wasn't raised around rap music. I wasn't anything. So let's take a little. Then once I got a little bit older, this was another tour that I was on. It was Blink and Wayne. Every night I would watch the Wayne show when I was like 11 years old, 12. So here it goes again. Here goes my nails again in 2015.
However, this is not just about clothes or music, it's about identity. When a white celebrity's child puts on blackness like a costume, talks the talk, copies the walk, but doesn't deal with the racism, the history, or the weight behind that culture, it starts to look less like inspiration and more like exploitation. And when you've grown up in luxury, surrounded by assistants, stylists, and celebrity privilege, it becomes even harder to argue that this is just who you are. To some fans, Alabama's behavior feels tone-deaf at best and disrespectful at worst. It doesn't help that she rarely, if ever, acknowledges these conversations. Instead, she posts more videos, more selfies, and more clips of her rapping in a way that feels performative rather than personal. Do we even need to explain this clip? And let's be honest, it's not the first celebrity kid to walk this tightrope. But in 2025, when conversations around race, privilege, and cultural appropriation are louder than ever, pretending it's not happening doesn't cut it anymore. While most kids her age are still figuring out who they are, Alabama seems laser-focused on projecting a hyper-mature, overly sexualized image that has raised more than just a few eyebrows, and rightfully so. From the heavy makeup and barely there outfits to the late-night selfies in luxury cars and suggestive poses, her Instagram feed looks less like a teenager expressing herself and more like someone cosplaying adulthood with no real grasp of the consequences. She posts like she's trying to sell an image, and that image isn't rated PG. However, for someone who only recently hit the age of consent in most places, Alabama's content is often disturbingly mature. Whether it's mouthing sexually explicit lyrics, posting thirst traps, or making TikToks that toe the line of decency, she's consistently pushing the envelope. And while some fans cheer her for her confidence or being grown, others are asking, where are the adults?
I'm sorry, you were posting what at 16? Posting yourself in a thong. on your close friends at 16. Like, who was it directed to? How many people were in there for the free? You know, someone was trying to tell me that kids are fast nowadays, but I didn't want to believe that. And mind you, I feel like a lot of celebrities use their close friends to post this type of content because I swear someone else was exposed for having like their nudes or whatever on their close friend. And my thing is, who the hell was holding on to that for so long? And the crazy part is I get like DMs like that all the time, like, yo, like, gotta show you something, you need to see something. There's always somebody waiting on your downfall. And Bama, like, you thought you was gonna kill it with that lawyer line, but all you did was confirm that was you at the ripe age of 16, that you voluntarily posted that. And I feel like people forget that once you post something on like social media, you give the site ownership. Like, whatever you posted on Instagram or Facebook, they literally own it now. Like Snapchat, everything, etc. They own a percentage of that picture, or they own it entirely. So you can't even get mad at the person reposting it because you don't really own it anymore. Now there's like rated R pictures of your child self. Mind you, I hope there's not more. I hope there's not anything worse. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but can't you get in trouble for distributing child, especially if you are said child?
For the context, in 2021, Alabama, who by the way was just 16 at the time, posted a photo of herself in a bikini and a video where she was twerking. While some saw it as a harmless teenage expression, others raised serious concerns about the risks involved. At that age, she was still a minor, and sharing content that could be seen as suggestive can open the door to inappropriate attention from older audiences and create unsafe online environments. It also sends a confusing message to younger followers, many of whom may try to imitate that behavior without fully understanding the consequences. At the end of the day, it's not just the content, it's the tone. Alabama speaks with a kind of arrogance that screams entitlement, as if no one is allowed to question her choices. But when you're that young, that famous, and that influential, you will be questioned, especially when your audience includes younger girls who look up to you, not realizing the line between confidence and clout chasing has completely blurred. Critics argue that she's not just acting out, she's performing for attention in a way that feels dangerous, both for her and for the people watching. And while we don't truly think that the backlash she received for posting that one picture was really justified, we do also think that she might actually be feeding into the controversies. After all, she's just been the hot focus of all the drama, and it's directly or indirectly fueling her popularity. For instance, when she posted this on her story, calling her mother a bad mom. At just 15, Alabama took to Instagram and basically aired all the family laundry in one swipe, saying her mom had never completely been in her life and asking people to stop acting like Shanna was some kind of Mom of the Year contender. She said in her story, "My mom has never completely been in my life. Can you guys stop painting her out to be an amazing mom? Did your moms ask to see you on Mother's Day because mine didn't? I'm done keeping it a secret." Her brother Landon even jumped in with a tag team assist, echoing her claims and making it clear they felt more like guests in their mom's life than kids. Naturally, Shanna Moakler was not having it. She clapped back, saying she had always been there for her children and that their accusations were just not it. Eventually, Shanna told media outlets that the kids had apologized privately and that things were better. But by that point, the internet had already formed its opinion. During an interview with The People, Shanna refuted the claims. She stated, "The claims of being absent from my children's lives are false and incredibly hurtful. Co-parenting is hard, but I have always and will continue to prioritize my children's happiness and well-being." She also later talked to TMZ about it.
So much talk about your kids accusing you of being like an absent mother. What's going on right now? Can you talk to us?
I guess, it's heartbreaking. It's every mother's worst nightmare, honestly. But, we just had dinner with our kids and all their friends 3 weeks ago.
Like 3 weeks ago.
This has all started since my ex started dating a certain person. And, it's heartbreaking. Yeah.
But the drama wasn't done yet. In another Instagram story, Alabama also stated that her mom's then-boyfriend, Matthew Rondeau, was awful and cheated on her. She wrote, "Everybody thinks my mother is amazing, but Matthew is nothing but awful to her. Not only that, but he cheats on her. And guess what? Matthew also got involved. He denied cheating on Shanna and defended her by saying she is an amazing mom. Here's what he told Life in Style. Our love is real. We had our ups and downs in the past, but we never have cheated on one another. She's an amazing mother, and I am with her because she loves and cares so much about her family. That's just one of the reasons why I love her so much." Well, to put it simply, this messy digital showdown gave everyone a front row seat to a very public family feud. And we're now beginning to think that maybe Alabama knew that. Maybe Alabama knew exactly what she was doing. Opening up about her messy relationship with her mom could have been more than just a raw emotional outburst. It might have been a calculated move. In a world where relatability equals clicks, sharing her family drama made her seem more real to her followers. After all, what better way to boost attention than by airing personal grievances so that many teens and young adults can relate to? But again, she was only 15 when she said this. However, she's not 15 anymore, and she is still a hot topic of many other controversial incidents. The most recent thing she's been under fire for was this video of her where she did a Christmas haul. In this video, she flexed her $200,000 worth of Christmas gifts, including a Birkin bag and a Cartier bracelet.
Starting off strong, we have the chrome heart glove. So cute. Then we have this chrome hearts wallet. Hello, this is so tea. We love her. Then my sister got me this A and B like little diamond necklace, and she got me this like cross necklace. And for purses, I got this Balenciaga purse. I have the gray version of this and the black one, so I had to get the pink because we love pink. Then this little Prada like duffel travel purse, in my opinion. I have the pink one of this too, and this is just so tea. Look at how pretty it is. Then I got this vintage Dior purse. I love it because it's like chromatic. Let's see. Then my dad got me these diamond earrings. They're so pretty. And he got me my third Cartier love bracelet. It's kind of like a tradition now.
Now, don't get us wrong. Showing off your Christmas gifts isn't exactly a crime. Everybody likes to flex a little during the holidays. But with Alabama Barker, it doesn't stop there. She's had a pattern of flaunting wealth in ways that feel more like a performance than a celebration. In one old video, she casually breaks down the cost of her outfit piece by piece, as if she's on an episode of Rich Kid Price Tag Challenge. And she was apparently wearing a watch reportedly worth $60,000 on her wrist, like it's no big deal.
Really?
Damn.
66K.
66,000.
Got these for 1,200.
12.
And then we got these for 100.
100. That's crazy. What about the shirt?
Mind it.
Don't mind the shirt? All right, bet. So we got 66, 67. You got like $67,000 right there. That's crazy.
At a time when most teens are saving for concert tickets or trying to upgrade their phones, watching someone casually flex 5 figures on their arm can feel, well, a little out of touch. To be fair, a lot of the criticism Alabama gets for flaunting her wealth might come from a place of jealousy more than genuine outrage. After all, she was listed as one of the richest celebrity kids by Mahogany Magazine. So if there's anyone who's practically born with a backstage pass to a life of luxury, it's her. So yes, she shows off her $60,000 watch and name drops every designer in her closet, but is that really shocking? For Alabama, this isn't new money behavior, it's just normal. The problem isn't necessarily that she shows off her wealth, it's how often she turns it into content, blurring the line between lifestyle and flex culture. And while it may rub some people the wrong way, it's also part of the very persona that keeps her trending. But what really chips away at Alabama Barker's likability for many isn't just the luxury or the flexing. It's the moments of blatant ignorance that slip through in her content. One example that drew a lot of backlash was when she casually mentioned in a video that she wouldn't vote simply because she didn't care. And honestly, that struck a nerve.
Talk about it, and I'm not fully educated, but I do have an opinion, and I'll keep it to myself. Not voting isn't crazy in my opinion at all, because if I don't feel like I have the exact education for what I'm voting for, how is it right for me to vote for something I'm not completely educated on? I could educate myself, but then again, why am I doing that if I genuinely really don't care? I'm just honest. I don't care to vote if I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't think that's wrong. And I completely stand on that, and I stand by it because, first of all, I just turned 18. I never voted before. We all know this. You can't vote until you're 18. I've never voted. If I don't want to vote, I don't have to vote. And if I don't want to be in politics, I don't have to be in politics.
So yeah, there is that. To be honest, for someone who benefits so heavily from the privileges of her last name and lifestyle, saying she has no interest in voting came off as tone-deaf at best, entitled at worst. In a country where so many people are fighting just to have their voices heard, where voting can be a hard-won right, her indifference felt like a slap in the face. It wasn't just that she didn't care, it was the fact that she could afford not to care. No matter what happens to the economy, healthcare, education, or civil rights, Alabama's life in all its glamour and private jet access likely won't change. That kind of detachment, especially when broadcast to millions of young followers, is what makes her come off as out of touch and unrelatable. It sends a message that as long as you're rich, the rest doesn't matter, and that's a hard sell for a generation that's actually paying attention. Nevertheless, she received a lot of backlash for this video, with most calling her ignorant and dumb.
I think it's not okay to not be informed, and it's not okay to not vote, but it is okay to be young and dumb.
Yeah,
that's you know what I mean? So I have empathy for her because a long time ago, I was really young and really dumb and said some really sort of stuff.
However, she later posted a story saying, "I would like to clarify my recent statements regarding voting, which have been widely discussed on various social media platforms. My primary concern is that I do not feel adequately informed about either candidate, nor do I feel entirely satisfied with either candidate. I acknowledge that during a recent live stream, I mistakenly mentioned next year's election. I realize elections happen every 4 years, and I understand how this may appear insensitive and uninformed. I am committed to educating myself further on this matter." However, people were still not satisfied with anything she said. At first, she said she didn't care and then posted this half-hearted apology, even if you could call it that. One user commented saying, "She's not committed to educating herself on a damn thing. She cares solely about her looks, partying, slapping yellow foundation on her face, and subtly bragging about her awesome life online to millions of people." Another said, "Sigh, why not just ignore it? This only feeds the fire." I'm fine with her not voting, because she clearly does not care enough to put in the effort to educate herself, and she won't. This is just a canned PR statement. I guess at least she isn't endorsing a candidate without facts, but yeah, she basically admitted she's an imbecile. Go wash your face, Bama. And to be honest, we do agree with this, even though it's a little harsh. She could have just kept quiet about her opinions. Like, we get it. If you don't want to vote, that's your personal choice. No one's forcing you into the ballot box. But the issue with Alabama wasn't just the decision not to vote, it was the performance of it. She didn't quietly sit out the election, she made an entire video about how she didn't care, riding the wave of outrage like it was just another trend. And the timing, suspiciously close to election season, which made it feel less like apathy and more like a calculated move to stir drama. With a platform as big as hers, that kind of message isn't just immature, it's irresponsible. Even if most people know better, there are still young fans who look up to her, who absorb what she says, who might follow her lead. And turning civic indifference into content? That's not just cringy, it's reckless. Anyways, moving on, we'd like to now talk about a relationship drama surrounding her that really blew our minds. We're talking messy and petty. So in late 2024, Alabama Barker found herself at the center of a heated feud with rapper Bhad Bhabie, real name Daniel Bergoli, ignited by accusations of a love triangle involving Bhad Bhabie's on-again, off-again boyfriend and father of her child, Levon. For those of you who are not aware, Bhad Bhabie and Alabama have been friends prior to this very messy public feud. So it was basically friendship turned into a full-blown firestorm when Bhad Bhabie publicly accused Alabama of stealing her man, claiming that Alabama had been involved with Levon during a period when Bhad Bhabie was undergoing chemotherapy for blood cancer.
Deleted the messages she had sent to him where the messages I posted yesterday, it was those messages. But Levon ended up sending me the real messages where she was like, "Come to my house, come see me." And Levon told me that they never even was in Vegas with each other. And the timestamp from when Levon met her up until now, he hasn't went to Vegas on his own. He hasn't done no shit like that. So then every time I'm on the phone with this hoe, she's recording me. Babe, you recorded me because you know I recorded you the first time we got on the phone back in July? I recorded you in Florida. It's legal there. It's illegal in California, you dummy airhead bitch. You always talking about lawyers and laws and this and that. Bitch, you don't know shit. Or else you wouldn't have recorded me because you would have known you can't do shit with it.
Alabama denied these allegations, asserting that Levon had been pursuing her for over a year and that she was unaware of his relationship with Bhad Bhabie. She also alleged that during a trip to Las Vegas, Levon had thrown a bottle at her, causing a significant injury. The feud quickly escalated into a musical battle, with both parties releasing diss tracks. Bhad Bhabie dropped Overcooked, accusing Alabama of various indiscretions, including relationships with rappers Soulja Boy and Tyga, and alleging a pregnancy and subsequent abortion involving Tyga, claims that both Alabama and Tyga denied. And if you think Alabama took it quietly, think again, because she responded with her own track, Cry Baby, defending herself and accusing Bhad Bhabie of substance use. The conflict reached a new level when Bhad Bhabie released Miss Whitman, a diss track accompanied by a provocative music video featuring a Travis Barker lookalike, further intensifying the personal nature of the feud. Alabama went a level below her after this and previewed a music video that allegedly mentioned Bhad Bhabie's daughter. So yeah, really messy, and it actually sparked a reaction from Bhad Bhabie's mother.
I'm just telling you that my daughter is not a fighter. My daughter is not a fighter, but I am. Tell your daughter to leave my daughter alone.
All in all, this public spat was marked by personal attacks and some really sensational claims, which, to be honest, was great content for people. They followed this feud like no other, and both Bhad Bhabie and Alabama made a lot from it. Recently, Bhad Bhabie appeared on Camilla's podcast and cried while talking about how she's happy that she stayed with her boyfriend despite all the issues in the past.
I am so happy that I didn't leave him because I would never find what I have with him in anybody else. And it's gotten so much better. It's like a whole different ball game. And it's like, I always think about it like, damn, if I would have left, I'd be missing out on this.
Truth be told, this seems really toxic. And honestly, there's no other word for it. The entire situation is toxic and disrespectful. Both Alabama and Bhad Bhabie come off as incredibly immature here. The whole "he was stolen" narrative is tired. A boyfriend isn't property. If someone cheats, that's their decision. They're not some helpless victim who got snatched away like a purse. And for two women who were once friends, to stoop this low and publicly tear each other apart over a man who's allegedly been abusive, unfaithful, and disrespectful to both, it's more sad than scandalous. At some point, it stops being drama and starts looking like a toxic cycle. What's even more baffling is hearing someone go on a podcast and brag about staying with a guy who's done this, like it's some kind of flex. Girl, it's not giving loyalty, it's giving self-sabotage. This isn't just a messy love triangle. It's a walking red flag factory, and neither of them is looking good walking through it. That being said, we'd like to now come back to her music. She's recently released a song called Vogue, which, to put it lightly, has been bashed a lot. Alabama Barker once seemed like she was on a promising path musically, the daughter of one of the most respected drummers in the world. Dabbling in music felt almost natural. Her early songs hinted at pop and R&B influencers, with soft melodies and teenage diary-style lyrics. Think Taylor Swift meets YouTube covers. But that didn't last long. Somewhere along the line, her sound and image took a hard left turn into something different. By the time she dropped her debut EP, it was clear she was leaning heavily into a style that was not hers to begin with. From the vocal delivery to the beats, the flow, and even her posture and hand gestures in music videos, people noticed, and not in a good way. Critics and fans alike called out how Alabama was adopting the sound, fashion, and swagger of black female rappers, but without any real connection to the culture it comes from. Her lyrics were criticized for being surface level, her flow often awkward, and the overall vibe feeling more like cosplay than artistry. And the backlash wasn't just about the music being subpar, it was about the aesthetic too. The oversized streetwear, the slick edges, long acrylics, the way she talks in interviews and TikToks. Everything started to feel like a character. And it's a character that too many white influencers and celebrities have tried to play before, the urban alter ego. Only this time the audience wasn't buying it. People started asking, why is a privileged girl born into Hollywood wealth trying to profit off a culture she doesn't belong to without respecting its roots or acknowledging where it comes from? That's where the accusations of cultural appropriation came in strong. Because it wasn't just inspiration, it looked like imitation. And when Alabama got defensive instead of reflective, the situation only got messier. To make it worse, the lyrics in her songs often lacked authenticity, talking about struggles she hasn't lived, flexing street cred she doesn't have, and presenting a tough image that doesn't line up with her actual life. It felt disconnected, like someone trying to sell an identity rather than express one. We're not saying that it's bad, it's just not her. If you recall her song Heartless from 2012, she sounded nothing like this before. In short, the music didn't land, and neither did the image she was building around it. For someone with access to top-tier producers, endless resources, and a last name that opens doors, the fact that her debut was widely panned isn't just about taste, it's about the lack of realness. You can have all the money in the world, but if the audience senses that you're performing someone else's truth, they won't connect. And that's exactly what's happening here. Moreover, Alabama has also been called out for being very extremely vain. If there's one thing that Alabama Barker's online presence has made painfully clear, it's that beauty has become more about presentation than authenticity. For someone who's only in her teens, Alabama's look is already hyper-stylized. Full glam, heavy contour, pouty lips, sleek wigs or long extensions, and of course, filters cranked up to 100. And while everyone has the right to feel confident in their appearance, there's something undeniably troubling about the way Alabama presents herself, especially considering her massive audience of young, impressionable followers. She's been repeatedly accused of relying on filters and possibly cosmetic enhancements to the point that her social media doesn't reflect reality. It reflects a brand. Her photos look like magazine covers, but side-by-side comparisons with unfiltered images show a different story. A young girl caught in the web of internet perfection.
I have like this thing where I photograph so ugly and people are like, oh my god, you're so fat and you're so ugly, and it's like, I see what you guys are seeing, but like, just like meet me in person. I feel like I really don't look like that. But I'm on weight loss medication because I'm tired of being fat and photographing like a damn ogre.
Dramatic is how young she is and how effortlessly she contributes to the toxic beauty pipeline. Whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, or in her music videos, Alabama rarely shows up without full glam. Her followers, many of them teens or even tweens, start to internalize that this is what beauty looks like, that natural is never enough, that if you're not wearing a full face and a filter, you're not worthy of attention. The saddest part is that this culture of looking perfect has made girls her age and younger terrified of showing their real faces, and Alabama is no different. She's both a victim of it and a contributor. In fact, she's often found herself at the mercy of paparazzi lenses, and not in a good way. Unlike her carefully curated Instagram posts, paparazzi photos are raw, unfiltered, and taken without consent. When these unfiltered pictures surface, the internet can be brutal, with people quick to pick apart her appearance and compare it to how she looks online.
Why does 19-year-old Alabama Barker look completely different? Even though Barker has posted makeup-free photos on her social media, recent paparazzi shots were shocking. She looked nothing like her online self. Some people even said she looked like Travis in a wig.
In one instance, after a set of harsh paparazzi photos sparked cruel body-shaming comments, Alabama responded with a video explaining that she has a thyroid condition and an autoimmune disease, both of which can affect her weight. She reminded people that health issues aren't always visible, and that teenagers, celebrities or not, shouldn't be ridiculed for their bodies.
That's my face when I see all the fake pages commenting about my weight in paparazzi pictures and saying I'm a catfish or saying I'm fat. First of all, let me eat you up because I'm so fat. Paparazzi will purposely take pictures of you with your mouth open, middle of sentence, and any ugly picture they can get of you just for views. And I would love to see you guys getting random pictures taken of you when you're leaving the grocery store, middle of the sentence and your mouth wide open. And let's see how beautiful you look. I also have a thyroid problem and an autoimmune disease. So that's one of the main reasons why I have weight gain. So it would be very appreciated if you guys just keep your opinions to yourself. It will get you further in life. Once my thyroid is balanced and my autoimmune disease is balanced, I will go back to my normal weight, which is causing the weight gain. You guys also act like I've gained 1,000 pounds. It's like 5-10 pounds. Which is so normal for a lot of girls. Weight fluctuates, and I don't want any girls that are young watching this that are gaining weight to ever think there's something wrong with it.
At the end of the day, she's a young girl being hounded by cameras that most adults couldn't handle. And the fact that she has to defend her body at all is more of a reflection on society than on her. Doesn't really matter what she's done in the past and how ignorant she's been. At the end of the day, we can't help but say that she is still so young and undeniably dumb too. She may be living a life most people can't relate to, one filled with luxury, fame, and attention, but that doesn't mean she's immune to the struggles of growing up. In fact, being raised in the spotlight often makes things even harder. When your every move is watched, judged, and broadcast, it's almost impossible to make mistakes privately, let alone learn from them without the world chiming in. Alabama grew up in a world where fame wasn't just present, it was expected. She was born into it. And when you're raised to chase relevance, followers, and image, it can seriously stunt your emotional growth. You're taught to brand yourself before you even know who you are. Combine that with a public that both pressures you to grow up fast and punishes you when you actually do. It's a recipe for confusion, rebellion, and controversy. Is Alabama problematic at times? Yeah. Has she made questionable choices? Sure. But at the same time, we believe it can all somehow be attributed to the fact that she's been pushed to create fame and chaos, and that's exactly what she's been doing. On this note, we'd like to end the video. If you stayed this far, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment down below and let us know what you think of her. Do you think she deserves the hate she gets? Or do you think it's all related to her being a product of the camera and popularity from such an early age?